So do I regret leaving New York? I don't know. I know New York has made a lot of improvements on the subway system. They've put in decorative fountains like this. Let me guess, this must be the 1 train. You don't want to take that number 2 train, believe me. Another pending improvement from New York is that they want to inoculate your children from hatred.
And by teaching younger New Yorkers about how to discern between digital fact and digital fiction, we can better inoculate them from hatred.
You're going to give children a hate vaccine? Kind of has a familiar autocratic kind of tone to it, doesn't it?
Your medication.
What's in the horse pill?
It's just medicine. It's good for you.
Yeah, and by the way, Governor, inoculating my children from hate, that's not your job. So I'm glad to be missing out on that. Crime is way out of control. Judges don't even set bail, and if they do, they'll go ahead and set up a GoFundMe for the criminals. Joe's been constantly celebrating. Here he is celebrating his birthday. He must have gotten this from the BLM Antifa bakery down the block. He pardoned a couple of turkeys for Thanksgiving.
I hereby pardon Liberty and Bell.
All the turkeys had to do was make a series of payments to a few dummy LLCs. And then Joe did what any 81-year-old would do. He got up on the ladder to decorate a Christmas tree. Of course, 3 minutes later, I think we know what happened.
No problem.
Let's face it, Biden isn't liked. His administration doesn't look exactly confident these days. Here's some footage of the one enthusiastic Biden voter. It hasn't been verified, though.
I cannot prove what I'm about to say.
I cannot prove what I'm about to say. This is how Biden should start every speech. Borders out of control, you can't even call it what it is. We've gone from illegal aliens to the undocumented to asylum seekers. What's next? Long-term tourists? And everybody seems to be an historian. Only history is discussed like it's an injury law commercial. Have you been colonized? If not you, then how about a relative? Like your great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandpa? Well, then you might be entitled to some compensation. Call the Colony Busters right now. And speaking of commercials, it's time to acknowledge this video sponsor.
Well, we're waiting.
Yeah, there is no sponsor. So like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell. And maybe I'll get a sponsor someday. Hey, you wonder what happens when a society prioritizes hating the country instead of actually teaching? Well, it goes something like this.
I'm really about to show y'all why we need to move out of America. Look at this. They're selling lion chops. They're taking exotic animals and cutting them up and putting them in our local grocery stores. Look, I'm in Safeway. They're putting lion meat in the f***ing grocery stores.
She's 100% correct. I have to say, I have had those lion chops, and they are delicious. Wow, look how terrified they are of all the Islamophobia. Even Greta Thunberg is getting in on the act. Maybe Greta has to pivot to new stuff because her outrage is getting kind of stale. You know how it is with these child stars once they start to age out. Plus, she's inspired a lot of brain-dead copycats who are also attention junkies. They all want your quality of life to suck because they think the planet's going to go poof. Look at this. People have had enough. Such a pain in the ass. You're trying to drive to work and you got to look out for all these cultist speed bumps. The deer have to be looking at this, shaking their heads. You mean these idiots do that on purpose? Greta's gone to Ukraine. She's weighing in on the Middle East. It's like she's spreading her brand too thin, you know? She's like a walking Disney Plus at this point.
Will you check under the bed and make sure there's no Disney executives under there?
Greta has no business with foreign policy. Maybe she needs to stick to what she doesn't know. We have to kill the cows because they're farting too much? They're not the guilty ones. It was John Kerry all along.
Killing people on a daily basis.
The perfect image for our problems. The private jets of the climate czars frozen on the runway. This airport needs global warming. We need John Kerry elitist air biscuits to clear this airport right away. There's been an explosion of rage for Palestinian rights, which is really Hamas rights, which is really about eliminating Israeli rights, which is also really about eliminating Jews. Look at this at an Oakland coffee shop.
You're holding up shit.
Also, currently, this is a private property.
I want to go into the restroom.
I do need you to leave.
I know Israel loves taking private property and saying it's their own, but we gotta head.
You're not going to let me
You're
go
also
into the
misgendering
restroom?
them, so I need you to leave.
I want you to go into the restroom.
I need you to leave, please.
An anti-Semitic coffee shop. Yes, I'll have the lawsuit grande, please. And how about calling for the death of Jews?
Ms. McGill, at Penn, does calling for the genocide of Jews violate Penn's rules or code of conduct? Yes or no?
It is a context-dependent decision, Congresswoman.
It's a context-dependent decision. That's your testimony today. Calling for the genocide of Jews is depending upon the context.
Speech becomes conduct. It can be harassment, yes.
Conduct meaning committing the act of genocide?
Do you have any idea how crazy you are?
Yes, as it happens, actual murder does constitute harassment and bullying under the UPenn guidelines, in most cases.
For the genocide of Jews violate Harvard's rules of bullying and harassment, yes or no?
It can be, depending on the context.
I'm not so sure. It's not quite up there with misgendering. Because as you know, if you misgender at Harvard, well... I'm surprised that Jew hating isn't being offered as a major. These are people who look at Schindler's List as a comedy. I think someone needs to explain to her that wearing Woody Allen glasses is not a real defense against anti-Semitism. Rest assured, though, everybody, Harvard recognizes its mistakes and they're taking corrective action, starting immediately with a Taylor Swift class taught by a trans professor.
Taylor Swift and Her World. This is a course starting next semester in the English department at Harvard.
Try to study and share, excellence.
This is the elite place people are trying to get into, huh? We got anti-Semitic indoctrination in Taylor Swift classes. Where do I start the bidding? Do I hear 50,000, 50,000, 50,000, 6,000, 6,000, 65,000 to 7,000, 77, 77, and sold for 79,000 to the elitist sucker in the back. Come right up here, son, and get your diploma. What's that diploma worth? Hey, thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe and share, and I'll see you the next time.